step, then turn. Now step, then turn.
Hello. Welcome to Real Talk Live with Annette D. Love.
We're gonna start right
And
here.
this is for my haters, baby. Sometimes you just gotta pop out on them. Yes, sometimes you just gotta pop out and show them, right? Look, we're gonna just do some talk story today because I don't even really have anything that I want to concentrate on. So we're gonna jump from topic to topic. If that's all right with you, we're gonna just talk about some things, because y'all just don't understand the things that I have to go through trying to be a peaceful person. And you know what? You might understand it. So maybe we can help each other because what iron sharpens iron. So let's see if we can help each other with what's going on, because whenever you're trying to live a righteous life, whenever you're trying to be correct, and let's say politically correct, why is it that everybody wants to come at you? You know what I'm saying? And everybody wants you to go back to the way you used to be. But let me be the first one to advise you, don't show them that. Don't go back to where you prayed and wish and hope to come out of. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you're not doing anything to these individuals and for some reason they're still bothered, that is not your problem. You get it? That's not your problem. That's their problem. That's not your situation. That's their situation. If it's something about me that you can't stand and I barely know you, I don't even really speak to you. If there's something about that you can't handle, that's your problem. There's nothing I can do for you. And I get a lot of that, and I just, you can't even try to understand it. Stop trying to understand the things that don't need to be understood. Okay, I always say what's understood don't have to be explained. Okay, so the same thing. There are some things you just don't need to understand because it really has nothing to do with you. And I don't know about y'all. And y'all can talk to me because I can see I got my glasses on. I don't know about you all, but I get a lot of people that don't like me because I'm the type of person that I go for what I want. But I was taught at a young age, you don't sit around and wait for anybody to give you anything. And when people try to stop you from getting what you want, you find another way around it. You find another avenue to get what you want. I was raised that way. And now I want my friends, being you, and my family, being you, to understand that we don't give up and we don't take no for an answer, because there's only one person that can tell us no, and it will be. That's only one person. Everybody else gonna follow suit. Okay, so if it's something that I know that I really and truly want, I'm gonna take charge. I'm gonna get it by any means necessary. Okay, and so if you upset with me because I'm that type of person, I'm sorry, that's your problem and not mine. There is nothing that I can do for you because you have the spirit of envy. Okay, and that's not good. That's not a good thing. And there's too many people out here like that. I wish, I'd be like, why everybody can't be raised the way I was raised? See, I was raised that you help others. I was raised that you don't be jealous. I was raised that you be happy for other people. That's how I was raised. Okay, and so a lot of times, and this is my fault, this is my mistake, I feel that other people should be thinking the same way that I think. Okay, that's one of my flaws, to think that people are going to think like I think or treat me the way that I'm going to treat them. And we have to be realistic in knowing that that is not the case. Okay, everybody is not going to be humble. Everyone is not going to be caring. They're not going to be a booster. They're not going to try to lift you up. And we have to understand that and receive that and be okay with that. But I can't, it's hard for me to be okay with people that like to come for me. And you are actually, and that, y'all don't hear me say this but a few times, but you are a non-factor in my life. Don't mean I don't love you with agape love, but you are actually a non-factor in my life. There is nothing about you that contributes to what I got going on over here. And I don't know if that's what rings your bell and make you feel like there's a problem between us. But we have no problem because I really don't know you. And that is fascinating to me that, you know, people that I don't know have such a big issue with me, and it can't be anything other than jealousy because we haven't really said 10 words to each other. And when I say 10 words, all I can say is I may have said hello. I may have said good night. Other than that, nothing. I've never sat down and had conversations with some of these people. I might smile at you, but that don't mean you know me. You know, so I don't understand, y'all. Make it make sense to me because I that's the only thing that puzzles me. But I know that I am not built to try to worry about the why. Okay, we can't worry about why people feel the way they feel about us. We have to keep moving. As long as I know I have not offended you, because if I offend you, I have no problem with apologizing because I'm just that type of woman. I apologize if I feel need to apologize to you, okay? But if I know that you have been a non-factor, you're not a constant in my life, there's no reason why you and I should have any dealings, and you just don't deal with me for whatever reason, I don't have anything to say to you because I was raised to give people what they want. If people want to be away from you, if they don't like you, they don't want to be in your area, your space, you leave them alone. And what happens, I've noticed people get upset because you oblige them. Isn't that the dumbest thing? I'm going to oblige you by leaving you alone, and you're mad because I'm not kissing your hand pods. But I'm going to tell y'all something that most of y'all already know. Love don't kiss no hand pods. At all. At all. At all. And I go for what I want, and if I don't get it, I don't pout about it. It just wasn't for me. But I'm going to work for it because we know that faith without works is dead. So you have to work towards what you want. You can't let people tell you no and just twiddle your fingers and say, well, I wish I would have. No, you got to go after it. They don't get to tell you no in your life and you just sit there and accept it. If you want it, you go after it by any means necessary. There is one person, I told you before, there's only one person that can tell you no, and that'll be a definite no. But he won't tell you no until you work for it. Faith without works is dead. So we don't sit around and just let people tell us what we can't do. And we don't sit around and worry about people who are non-factors in our life. If you don't contribute to my life, you're a non-factor. If you always want to tear me down and pull away from my good stuff, you are a non-factor. And I mean, you can say what you want to say about me, but I mean what I say. My yays are always my yays, and my nays are always my nays. And if I say I don't mess with somebody, I don't mess with them. I'm very selective of who I let into my space. And you have to be that way. Because some of y'all, and I've said this before, some of y'all letting the enemies in your house. I'm just saying. But, you know, that's your business. I don't warrant you. You have to pray for discernment. But the thing is, there are going to be people that you don't know and who don't know you, and they are determined to try to smear your name, to bring you down, to make you look less. And let me tell you something. I have somebody right now, and this person is an elderly person. And now I'm going to get back to that elderly piece. But they even talk about who I affiliate with, my friends, because my friends are politicians and you know, appointed officials and stuff like that. Now, what does that have to do with anybody? What does that have to do with anybody who my people are? But you're jealous because of that. That is the most dumbest thing I've ever seen or heard. And now let's get back to that elderly piece. I have never seen adults act the way that some of these adults act in 2025. First of all these adults out here talking about children, putting children down. The internet has destroyed our parenting skills. Let me say that, because it takes a village. So you don't have to be the parent of that person to have, or that individual, that child, to have a parenting skills. But the internet has really destroyed most of our parenting skills, because when did we as parents start talking down on children? When did we start putting kids down, talking about lock them up? And I'm not talking about those who did, crimes. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about simple stuff that we're supposed to say, hey, that child made an error in judgment. She needs to be, or he needs to be redirected. We're ready to slam, and we're ready to do all this crazy stuff too. But I've never seen that. I've never heard of parents talking about that, or grown folks talking like that about children. When did we start pointing fingers and joking on people's kids and stuff like that? Y'all know back in the day, that was grounds to get beat down. Back when I was a child, we didn't play that. My mother, you ever talked about one of her children, you gonna have a problem. Not just with my mama, you talking about with my aunties and my uncles and my cousins. We not playing that. But when did we start doing that to our children? When did we start taking away the life in them? But that's what we have going on now. And then also, when did 70-year-old women start putting down 50-year-old women, and 50-year-old women putting down 30-year-old women and stuff like that? We're out of each other's category. You know what I'm saying? There's no competition between me and a 70-year-old woman. She's supposed to have wisdom. But I've noticed, surprising to me, that a lot of our older women have no wisdom. A lot of them, not all of them, because I met some sharp ones now, but some of them have no wisdom. Some of them are childish, and some of them are just jealous-hearted, envious individuals, and that is saddening to me. It's heartbreaking, because I wasn't raised like that. I didn't see that. My grandmother didn't show me that growing up. My grandmother didn't even gossip, and if you came to her with a piece of gossip, she gonna put you in your place. You gonna feel like you are foolish, because she did not play that. Because the first thing she's going to ask you is what make you better than that individual that you're talking about. And that's the type of thing, type of values I was raised on. And my grandmother wasn't perfect, because she'd tell you, she done did her dirt. She done been out in them streets. She did a little shaky leg stuff. But one thing for certain, two things for sure, she was transparent. And I can respect her for being transparent, and then I can learn from her. And that's why I'm so transparent, because you can't learn from somebody that's telling a secret and telling a lie. You can't learn from people like that. We sit here and we want to act like we're holier than thou. We have never done anything. You understand what I'm saying? But see, don't you come at me and I know your secrets. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's not going to work. So don't come for me, and I know that you've been out here in these streets being sleazy. Okay? And I'm just saying, because people like to do that. You cannot point fingers at everybody else when you are out here doing your dirt. And I just don't understand when the older people who's supposed to be mentoring, who's supposed to be encouraging these young folks, when they start competing with the young people instead of leading the young people. I just can't understand that. And so then you get mad at someone like me, who's actually committed to leading by example, by transparency, with love. You get upset with me because I want to still do things the appropriate way when it comes to uplifting others and building our community, should I say. Okay? Because there's a way that you're supposed to behave. There's a way that you're supposed to teach others. Okay? To reach one, you have to teach one, right? And so we're not getting that. And then we wonder what's wrong with our young folks. We wonder what's wrong with society now. But we're seeing you come against people in your age category. We're seeing you come against people younger than you. Who are they looking up to? Because these kids here, they're not respecting any kind of foolishness now. These kids got their own mind. They have their own mind. So you have to see how you can pour into them. And you got to do it respectfully, because there's no more of do as I say and not as I do. No, there's no more of that. Not with these youth here. They have to see you acting out. Let me tell you something. My son didn't realize that I don't pour out my grandmother's Bible anymore, right? My grandmother's Bible was left to me. And so I used to read her Bible and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But now I read the Bible on the phone, okay? So my oldest son would come in. By the time he come in, I done did my studying and all that. And you know what he told me? He told me, son, you on the Facebook before you even pick up the Bible. They're watching you. They're watching us. You know, I had to correct him, of course, and let him know that what he said was not true. But just in case, just perhaps that was the case, he would have been on the money, because I'm always on my phone. I never realized that he watched me when I actually read out of the Holy Bible versus reading the Bible on my phone. You see what I'm saying? So these kids are watching you, or these young adults are watching us to see how we move. And a lot of us are moving very foully. A lot of us are doing things that we should not be doing. You know, and then you want to come back and try to correct them kids. You want to come back and tell them what they should be and should not be doing. And you out here moving dirty, right? If I step on your toes, I just step on your toes. Come on, talk to me if I step on your toes. I'm gonna respond to you. You know, just keep it respectful. You know, because that's the whole thing. We're very disrespectful these days. We're very disrespectful these days. And that is a whole problem in itself. Okay, that's a whole problem in itself. It makes no sense. We're supposed to be uplifting one another. Women, you are not supposed to be trying to compete with every woman that cross your path. You're not supposed to. It's not about that. We're supposed to uplift each other, encourage each other, redirect each other, and support each other. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And we seem to have a hard and difficult time doing that. Baby, everybody don't want your man. Okay? Everybody don't want your man. And if y'all, let me tell y'all something. Don't let the thick shade fool you. Because I be telling a lot of y'all men to go away. A lot of your men to go away. A lot of your little husbands like to get in my DM. Okay? And I send them back to you. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay? And so stop thinking that every woman wants your man. Just because you want him, don't mean that every woman wants him. And let me tell y'all about that too. Because one thing about me, the way I was raised, I was always raised to pay attention to who a man has been with. Pay attention to that. So I pay attention to who he's been with. And when he's trying to talk to me and he's married, I even check out who he's with. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm on a certain level. And don't hate me for this. Yeah, I'm a thick girl, but I wasn't always thick. And even when I was a size 6, I wasn't everybody's cup of tea. So, tomato. And so, but I'm on a certain level. And there's some things I just don't go behind. Some people I just don't go behind. And so I notice a lot of men, they like to criticize women. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because they maybe not attractive, or maybe because they're, heavy and all that stuff. Then you ladies, what you do, you go back and on their social media and you check out what they got at home, or you check out the past girlfriends and look at the I don't want to insult you ladies, but you look at that stuff they walking with right now, and then compare it to you, and all you're gonna do is laugh. Just be like, cause he has a nerve to talk about me, and look at the foolishness he got going on right back over there. Baby, let me tell you, I done seen it. I be like, this is out of his mind if he think Oh, I would never, And so that's how you keep from, being ignorant out here in these streets. Do your little research. Some things ain't even worth being said. You understand what I'm saying? Some things are not worth being said. But don't fall for everything. Don't fall for everything. If I was married and my husband cheated on me, okay, and I'm just gonna say this, he better upgrade. That's all. He better upgrade. He better not go cheat on me with some garbage. I ain't trying to insult you, but that's just how I talk. He better not cheat on me with some garbage. She better be fine as wine. She better be like, oh, well, yeah, I see why he left me. That's what I want. He better upgrade. Because I'm going to be offended if he go out here and get some chop suey. I'm telling you. But that's just me. Y'all, whatever you think, that's just me. Because when I get married, I ain't getting married and he talking about, oh, he doing this, I'm leaving him. No, I ain't leaving him. What am I leaving for? Not at this age. We going to work this thing out. And it's only going to be one way he going to leave. And that's when I say he going to leave. I don't care how y'all feel about it. He going to leave when I say he going to leave. And if I say he's staying, he's staying. That doggone checking account staying. That little petty bank money staying. Everything, car keys, that food in my refrigerator, everything staying until I say it's over. You understand what I'm saying? So, lady, if you go cheat with my husband, just know you got the both of us. It's three in this game right here, because he ain't going nowhere till I say he going somewhere. And that's just how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be when I get tired. So go on out there and cheat. Go on out there and cheat. You're going to go through pure THELL until I get tired. I'm just saying. Now, there it is. I done put it out. So anybody ready to take that chance, come on, give me a call. So I'm telling you, because I ain't playing the radio. I'm not getting married to get divorced. I'm going to tell you that right now. And lady, when you mess with my husband, you're going to have to deal with me too. I'm telling you. That's just how it's going to be. And I'll take your coins too. Trust me. I'll take your coins too. Because he going to be broke as a joke. By the time he comes see you, you going to have to give him some of your money. By the time I put a lock on them finances. So you going to enjoy him, but you will not enjoy my coins. And his coins going to be my coins. Watch and see what I tell you. So play with my husband if you want to. You're not going to be happy. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to be happy, because I'm going to take you through something. And it's going to be a game to me. It's just going to be a game to me. If y'all haven't got my book, you better get it, because I'm telling you the truth. So if anybody think they want to mess with my husband, my future husband, I'm telling you, you ain't going to like it. You're going to be miserable. Miserable. Because that's going to be my whole job. Y'all know I'm retired. That's going to be my whole job, is to make your life and his life miserable. Okay, so we done got to that part, because we just talking story now. We ain't really hitting on nothing like talking about. I just want to, bring some things to your attention, mainly, elder, and I don't want to say, when I'm saying, I don't want to sound like I'm saying old, but elderly people are supposed to be examples for the younger people. And when you're no longer an example for the younger ones, there is a problem. There's a problem. And I hate to say that you're useless when you're no longer an example, but I mean, what's your reasoning for being here? What, God can't use you anymore? You can't be used, because once you can't be used, you have no reason to exist. What is your reason to exist when you can't give back positively? What's your reason? I know it sounds harsh, but it is what it is. There has to be a reason for your existence, because when there is no longer a reason for you to be here, God's going to call you home. And so if you sitting here causing mess and not being a good example, and you sitting here talking down on young people, taking away their motivation, what is your reason for being in this world? You don't have one anymore. Because everything that we do, we're supposed to do it unto God. And when we stop doing that, What is our reason? What is our purpose for being here? You know, just like that young man, Shador Sanders. Let me tell y'all something now. I ain't always been the person that you see today. Okay? I ain't always been the person that you see today. I done had me a couple NFL friends, okay? But Deion Sanders was always one of my favorites. And I understood his and I wouldn't say arrogance, I understood his confidence. But he was a little arrogant, but I understood him, okay? And then his sons, they can't help but to be the way they are. Look at their father. And so the way they did Shador, he's the sweetest thing. The way they did him was horrible. And the way people just talked about that young man was ridiculous. And that's what I'm talking about. Grown folks, get it together. He is still a young man. And we're going to just sit there and let people tear him down. Even thank God he have a father like he has. See, his father was like my mother with me. You see what I'm saying? Because my mother wasn't always she was always sweet. But behind them closed doors when she was actually teaching her children, oh, baby, she was harder than a rock. And she raised us to be able to be like rubber so stuff can bounce up off of us. You understand? So when you're raised like that, a lot of stuff don't affect you, but it does. It does bother you at times, but you can easily get over it. Now it takes me a day because I hold grudges. That's one of my problems. I can hold a grudge for years and years and years and years and years. And so my stuff, I have to talk to God. I have to actually talk to God. I pray constantly for forgiveness for my unforgiveness because I will hold a grudge forever. But one thing about me, when I hold a grudge, I remember why I held the grudge. When you can't remember why you have a grudge against somebody, oh, it's definitely time to let it go. I'm telling you. And you're not supposed to hold them anyways, okay? But we all have our flaws. Some people get high. Some people drink. I hold grudges, okay? We all have a sin. We have a cross to bear. Mine is the grudge holding. But, getting back to Shador, the way that those people was talking about that young man, somebody, and I did see a lot of people, but you have to stand up. You have to stand up for these young people. When they can't do it themselves, you have to stand up. I was taught by a pastor. He would tell me, people can protect. You can let people talk for you. You can let people protect you. You ain't gotta fight every battle yourself. You can let people fight your battles. I mean, to keep me from going back and forth, tongue twisting with people, he was like, you can let other people speak up for you. Let the work that you do speak for you. Show people who you are. Show them your goodness. Show them the God in you, and they won't let anybody put you down. That's what he was trying to tell me and explain to me and teach me. As a young minister, that's what he was telling me. You don't have to tongue twist with everybody. When they see you doing right, when people see that you're upstanding, they will fight your battles for you. And don't be offended because they do that. That's because you have shown them exactly who you are. And so that's, I pretty much, I try to do that, but most of the time I try to leave it alone. But I just feel like sometimes you have to address certain things. You know what I'm saying? You have to. And now I'm in a dilemma now. I'm like, should I address this elderly woman, about the things that she says about me? And for real, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to mess with her. I don't want to. I've been encouraged to do certain things, but I don't want to because I just feel like she's up in age, and I would hate for anything that I say or do, legally or whatever, to cause her to leave this earth. I do. Listen, you have to be careful. You don't know, your actions may be the last thing that someone sees, and your voice, your words may be the last thing they hear. And I don't want anything negative coming from me to her. And I just want to just put it in God's hand. I really do. I just want to pray over it and ask God to touch her heart. And I've done that, but you know, I don't know if I want to pursue anything yet. I'm still deciding and praying and waiting for God's answer on what I should do, because honestly, this lady she ought not be my mama, and honestly, she looked like she ought not to be my grandmama, but I I just wish she'd go away from me, not the earth. Just go away from me. But for some reason, it's something about me that tugs at her. And that's the craziest thing to me. It's something about me that tugs at her. I don't know if it's because I don't want anything to do with her and I won't talk to her. I won't listen to her. But there are some people, remember I told you have to ask the Lord for discernment. There are some people, no matter what their age is or whatever, you cannot allow them in your space. And that lady is one that cannot come in my space. And it's like she wants to so badly. No, you can't bring that mess over here. That spirit cannot come and invade my space. Y'all have to protect your space. You have to protect your space. Okay, so look, I don't know how long we've been talking, but I just wanted to just talk story with you. I don't have a lesson. Well, almost you'll get a lesson out of something, but I really have nothing concrete to discuss today. I just wanted to talk, and about a few things that's going on in my life. Oh well, y'all know that I'm a politician now, right? And I'm on the school board, so I'm still with my colleagues. We're still pushing to make sure that we take care of all of our educators, to include right down to security. Making sure that we give them what they need to be able to sustain through this next year and the years afterwards. We want to make sure that they are their pay is sufficient. Okay, you got to pay a person to do a job, and so many times people say it's not the money, but everything unfortunately kind of comes down to the money. Comes down as far as your motivation. I can't be motivated to bypass being disrespected by children, or bypass interruptions in the classroom by students, and I know you paying me $20,000 left, and then I can get paid if I go to another city. You can't motivate me enough, because I'm thinking, man, if I was at that city, I could deal with this for $20,000 more. You understand? So I understand that. I understand it, because I'm the type of person that I'll have a little bit of money for my peace. Okay, you can give me a little bit of money for a lot of peace. Okay, that's the type of person I am. So I'm sure I'm not the only one like that. So I know that. But if you give me a certain amount, I may deal with the foolishness just a little bit longer. Come on, that's everybody. Until you just can't take it anymore. And I want to, make sure that our teachers are encouraged, and that they can take care of their families. They come in there and they take care of our students, and I want them to be able to have time to take care of their families without having to take a second job, because you're taking away from the time from your kids. So it's my desire that you get paid a wage, that you don't have to go out and find 2 or 3 jobs, unless that's something that you desire to do, not because you have to do it. So just know that somebody's working, and somebody do care. Oh, I can't even get it out, but it's the truth. I do care. I don't have anything to gain being on the school board, to do what I said I was going to do, and that was to work for the betterment of Portsmouth Public Schools, and that's what I'm doing. So listen, I'm going to let y'all go. I love you. God loves you. Make sure you love yourself. Go on and love someone else. Until we meet again, may you be tremendously blessed. Okay? And remember, iron sharpens iron. To reach one, you have to teach one. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching Real Talk Live with Arnett D. Love.